worth dying on? I think not.
The vaccine does not prevent infection. It does not prevent transmission. So why would we make anybody take it? It is insane.
All right, those are Republican senators speaking out yesterday against a COVID vaccine mandate for members of the military. A mandate, they say, which is causing them to withhold support for a massive defense authorization bill unless it's repealed. By the way, that press conference was headed by Kentucky Senator Rand Paul, who's going to join the show in just a few minutes from now. In the meantime, it's our pleasure to welcome in former Army bomb technician and current Florida Congressman Brian Mast. Congressman, good to see you again.
Always good to see you.
So you saw all those senators, 7 in total, speaking out about that vaccine mandates for members of the military. You're a former serviceman. Do you support the cause?
Yeah, so one, service members shouldn't have to get the vaccine. They shouldn't be kicked out from the military if they don't get it. It brings into a much broader question about should you be required when you're going into basic training or West Point or anywhere else that you have to get the flu shot or MMR or tetanus or you name it. That's a more broad question for in the future. But this is something that is real time ongoing as we speak that you should talk to these senators about. To my understanding, Kevin McCarthy was at the White House with President Biden in the last couple of days. They're conferencing this National Defense Authorization Act that everybody's talking about right now. And my understanding is that he got President Biden to agree and Nancy Pelosi to agree that in the NDAA moving forward, this one that will go to the president's desk in all likelihood, that there will be a removal of the vaccine requirement, the vaccine mandate, and that in addition to that, there will be a quote unquote study to determine how many people were in fact kicked out of the military because of this or affected negatively because of this, and what has to be done to make them whole. So it's not an exact requirement to reinstate them into the military, but is that what it takes to make them whole? And Congress will be looking at. That is my understanding in this moment.
Wow. I mean, that's a big change of heart, it seems like, from the president. I mean, what was the factor, do you know, that made him change his mind there?
Well, I would hope that the factor for the president, among just common sense, which I don't fully throw into his lap by any means, but you're talking about a president that how long ago said, look, this is over, COVID's over, the pandemic is over. So if you're going to say that, why wouldn't you accept the military bill, the National Defense Authorization Act, that says no more vaccine mandate if that was your statement that COVID is over? So maybe that's what Kevin McCarthy threw at him. I wasn't in the room, but that's my understanding.
So when will we know?
So I would say probably the next 24 hours, you're going to hear the term that you would use for this is conferencing a bill. So the House of Representatives passed the National Defense Authorization Act already. The Senate did not actually pass their own version of the National Defense Authorization Act. And so what they're actually doing is taking the House version and then taking their Senate provisions and kind of dropping them into the House version, and then they'll send it back to everybody for a vote.
So basically, when it gets sent back to you, there would be language in there that says affirmatively, this is no longer a requirement. Is that how it would work?
That is my understanding. That's what should be in it, certainly, that there is an affirmative statement. Vaccines no longer required for members of the military. Members of the military cannot be booted out for not getting a vaccine. People entering West Point or Naval Academy or Air Force Academy, Coast Guard, Merchant Marine Academy don't have to have those new recruits, don't have to have vaccines in order to get in. And I can tell you, as somebody that's about to assess high schoolers to go into the service academies, and we're getting ready for people to graduate high school in the spring and go off to the military, those recruiting numbers are absolutely down across the board for officer and enlisted. And for the families that were speaking to me about it, that was a major concern, the wokeness in the military, and that their kids were going to have to get a vaccine for something they're basically not affected by.
Look, I think you're absolutely right. This is silly. If the President of the United States says it's over, and then you're going to say, but I'm not going to let you serve in the military if you don't get a vaccine for something that doesn't exist anymore. It seems nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, absurd to me.
It's good to see you this evening.
Exactly.
Well, it's good to see you this evening. Thanks for the update.